so much of your impressions, your sanskaras. And therefore it is a twofold action, gesture. You throw it into the ocean that he is. You're bowing down at his feet, is offering, unburdening yourself of your impressions and sanskaras, which get merged into the ocean that Baba is. So it is only to the God-man you can do that. You cannot, therefore, this bowing down can only be at the feet of one who is the ocean, because that is merged in it. It cannot be in lesser ones. That is where it is harmful. But the action, when lovers would bow down, each one, even if it was a second, Baba would say it was more than enough. It's really an unburdening of your impressions and his complete and beautiful acceptance of it. You see, when you have seen films of people bowing down for just a second, putting their head on Baba's feet and moving on, and Baba looks the ocean, even in the film, his acceptance, either with the hand like this or this. This is a gesture of Baba, meaning taking it in, accepting it. And often you'll find Baba doing this. This is love. This is love, but this is forgiveness, granting, that only he can do. So I just wanted to add that to what Eruch was saying about the significance of bowing down at Baba's feet is surrenderance of your impressions, your weaknesses, your shortcomings. In the Hindu way, that is depicted by putting a coconut at the perfect master's feet. Coconut represents symbolically the mind, because man cannot give up his mind. It is easier to put a replica of it, and therefore a coconut has become a traditional thing that you always find people also bringing along with garlands, coconut, putting at Baba's feet. That's the traditional way of surrendering your mind. But Baba demands it much more literally, much more holy than just a symbol or a gesture.
The difference between a pilgrimage to the tomb of the God-man and the pilgrimage to the tomb of the perfect master is great. What I have gathered from Baba is that the pilgrimage from one place to another, you see, with the intention of having or gaining material benefit, could be had even at the tomb of the perfect master. But if you aspire for a spiritual benefit, or if you aspire for something spiritual, you will be rewarded by making a pilgrimage to the tomb of the God-man. The tomb of the God-man serves as a repository of all the benefits, spiritual and material. Very rarely somebody goes to make a pilgrimage to the tomb of the God-man and asks for some spiritual benefit. It's very rare. But it is the place for asking such a thing. There are people by thousands who go on a pilgrimage to the tomb of the God-man, and they always hanker and long for material benefits, for redressing their woes and miseries. Even that they get there. But then there are people who are associated with the perfect masters, and their association makes them aspire for something spiritual too. So suppose if a person who is associated with the perfect master approaches the tomb shrine of the perfect master with the intention of asking for something spiritual, so does he not benefit there at the tomb of the perfect master? Baba says, of course, he does benefit. But then what happens? That benefit is not drawn out directly from the tomb of the perfect master. It is always bestowed upon the person from the tomb of the God-man.
You mean it's relayed?
It is relayed, yes. The tomb of the God-man is the tomb of the form or the coat or the veil donned by God himself, descending from the realms of reality into illusion. That's the tomb of the God-man. It's the repository of the cloak, the veil that he put on, God himself put on, while being in illusion. The tomb of the perfect master is the man, is the body of a man that realized God. As Baba has said so often, that when man realizes God, he is man-God. When God descends upon this earth in his advents, it's the God-man. So when man drops his body, he drops his body as man. And no sooner man realizes God, he has already dropped his body. Although he moves about for those who are associated with him in a human form, but he has already dropped his body when he realizes God. He continues to be in human form for some time, because around his neck, so to say, is the responsibility, is the office that he has to conduct, which is very well explained in God Speaks by Baba. It is quite different in the case of the God-man. God assumes human form, descends in human form, a male human form, and when the time comes, he just drops the human form, the man form. It is also the man form, but it is not the man's body, you see. It is quite different. It's the cloak, it's the veil that veiled reality when reality descended into illusion, you see. So that is something very dynamic, something very spatial. And therefore, the tomb of the God-man is so very important as a place of world pilgrimage. There are the tomb shrines of the saints and the perfect masters and the walis and the pious people. They are all there. They are very good, where persons can derive material benefit from there. But these material benefits are also relayed. They can derive spiritual benefits also, but they are all relayed from the powerhouse, so to say, which is the tomb of the God-man.
So how fortunate that all Baba's lovers come direct, because they're not coming to ask him for anything or for material benefit or any benefit. They're just coming to offer their love, and they receive the spiritual benefit because he's the giver. He's the giver of that. Like one Baba lover, I was very delighted when somebody new had come and they said, "Oh, what's the difference? What's the difference? There's so many who call themselves Avatar. I'm Avatar, this one is Avatar, that one is Avatar. How are we to know? Isn't it confusing?" And the Baba lover said, "Not at all. You will find others say, 'Come to me, I will give you this, I will give you that.' Baba says, 'Come to me, I will take away this, I will take away that.'" Because it's really the taking away. That's the grace, that's the gift. Just keep watching. Like say, be still and just keep witnessing to all that is to be. And this we realize now, even this, what we witness now, is just the beginning.
Mani, I was wondering, when you're talking about Baba's presence and going to places where Baba was, his physical presence was. I was wondering, I understand what Eruch said about the tomb and being veiled there, but does it make any difference really whether Baba was somewhere longer in the body than a moment?
Yes. It is bound to be. Just like when you're sitting in the sun, and the sun is on you, you absorb the sun rays. You not only absorb the benefit, but you reflect it. You have received, and that is important. Anything touched by Baba, therefore, has that same his presence. It is a difference. But what is there that Baba hasn't touched? Like when Baba put his feet in the ocean when he was at Myrtle Beach. Well, just imagine, no water that you can have there. You cannot say, this is the water that Baba washed his feet in. You know, because when Baba used to have his feet washed, lovers, it would mean much to them to take a bit of it in a bottle or a container. And but there, he is so boundless in his giving. He's such a bountiful giver and forgiver that he dips his feet in the ocean and here, have it all. All this is water that's washed my feet.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot limit him. That's true. But just like he did not reveal himself, he took great pains not to reveal himself to everyone. He could have done that. As he said, it was easier to manifest, to release, to reveal, than to hold in, than to contain. In the same way, while he was in his physical presence, it was not for all. Even now, as you see, he has gone out of his way, gone to each of you and touched your heart. He has brought you here. Otherwise, you would not be here. In the same way, you see where there is that difference, like there is the difference between you who love Baba and others who are equally seemingly worthy or otherwise who don't love Baba. There is that difference, isn't there? In the same way, the places where he blessed, everything he touches, he breathes upon, he gives us, he is in, is blessed, immeasurably blessed. And therefore, relatively to us, those places, I've heard from Baba lovers who've been here in Mehera, and sometimes these people who can see, they've had a vision, not necessarily people who are prone to be psychic or have visions, who have been surprised, but have seen Baba. One saw Baba just outside Eruch's cabin. One saw Baba seated in this chair. One saw Baba sitting on his bed in the room. But we haven't. But what I mean to say is this is not by way of saying that that is important. This is by way of saying that is assurance to us that he is with his lovers, very much so with his lovers, wherever his lovers are, wherever they are. In fact, sometimes you ask the question, why is it necessary to be here, to be with Baba? Our question is, why are you here? I mean, that is a continual surprise, a continual witnessing of his drawing you all here, of his love that has brought you here. We witness that, and therefore, whatever you feel you may receive by being here, rest assured, we receive as much from you. It's a continual exchange.
Excuse me, Mani. Could you repeat what you said about Baba's presence in his tomb for the next 100 years?
Baba's
not in his tomb.
No. But the force of Baba's presence, of his being, is in full force. It flows. The flow of Baba's presence is in full force for 100 years after he drops his form, his coat, his cloak.
Where?
That's
Everywhere?
what Baba had said. It is everywhere, like the ocean is everywhere. But not everybody recognizes or takes of it. That is where his lovers are concerned. Because that's where his lovers go to, the ocean too. He's always there. He's always there, even when he's not here in man form at any time. But at these times, when he comes in his man form, these are the times of grace, the springtime of grace. And the grace is there, but not all can receive it.
And it's particularly there at his tomb?
Not necessarily. This 100 years is for the force of his presence remains on earth for 100 years after he drops his body. Then that is, if his next advent is to be in 700 years. If it is to be after 1400 years, Baba told us, it would be for 200 years. This time, Baba made it clear it would be for 700 years. His next advent would be in 700 years. Therefore, 100 years it would be in full force flowing. That is why you all who are receiving of his love during this time have the great good fortune